Hey everyone, and welcome to this session on appointment booking using REST APIs. So the question will be if you can do appointment booking in Salesforce using Gantt or the UI, what's the need for REST API? So this will be required, especially in case when you are calling for slots or for scheduling a job, sitting outside the SFS enabled log. Now this outside infrastructure could be a non-SFS enabled Salesforce or could be a third party system. So essentially, what we do in this case is we ask for slots and we receive slots, and then we pick up one of the slots and ask for scheduling it, and we receive confirmation that it's been scheduled. So to enable external systems to do it, what we need to do is we need to add a REST API within Salesforce SFS enabled org so that external systems can talk to this REST API, which is a general Salesforce technology. And this REST API has access to all the SFS object model and APIs that reside only in the SFS enabled org. Right? So in totality, what we are doing is we are trying to ask for appointment slots, get all those slots based upon the selected policy and the horizon. The next, we pick up one of these slots and then we ask for schedule, and the job is scheduled with arrival window stamped on it. So the point to note here is initially when we started, there was no arrival window stamped on the service appointment, but now it will be. And this is something that happens and used in rebooking scenario. So for rebooking, again, you ask for slots in the same way as we did earlier. But in this case, you may see limited slots because now the arrival windows are stamped on the service appointment. So possibly you will see only one slot or maybe three slots at max that overlap with the same time. So if it's 8 to 10, you may see 6 to 8, 8 to 10, and 10 to 12 because 8 and 10 are inclusive. And then you choose for an alternate slot and you do a schedule. Now, this is where the challenge comes in because we have the stamped arrival windows on the essay. So, mainly there are two execution challenges as we see in this case. One is what we can do is we can clone the current service appointments or we can play with the attributes. So, if you want to clone the service appointments, what we need to do is if a request comes for rebooking a service appointment, we clone that appointment in memory temporarily without arrival windows. And then we ask for appointment slot as if it was never booked. And once we get those slots, we delete that temporarily created essay and return back those slots to the user to choose one of them. Similarly, in case we want to play with the additional attributes, what we could do is we can move the current arrival windows onto a temporarily backed up attributes and then clear those from the main service appointment. Ask for appointment slot as we generally do in the fresh booking. And then once we have the response, we can bring back those original arrival windows on the essays. Now, again, both these approaches have their advantages and disadvantages in terms of creating an in-memory essay, could be a chain, could be a single one, versus having updates on the service appointment when actually there is no update, right? So this is one challenge that we had, or maybe this is one decision we have to take on which way we want to do it. Second is, irrespective of which approach of cloning or clearing we take here, we have to create, we have to do some data manipulation, which is called as DML in Salesforce world. And the second biggest challenge is ESNO doesn't like any uncommitted DML work before you call the get slots or book slots or schedule API. Now, based upon Salesforce recommendation, what is required is instead of getting an error while you're trying to do a ESNO service call for either getting slots or for booking a appointment with an uncommitted work, you may want to go ahead and create a REST API internally within the SFS org so that you first finish all your updates in a separate transaction and then come back and continue with SFS based API call using enhanced scheduling and optimization. So what we do in this case is, as you remember, we were creating a REST API within Salesforce to expose SFS-based object model and APIs to external world. In the same way, what we will also do is we create one more REST API, which is inner REST API. So now all that cloning or clearing of windows can happen here, which is not in the main transaction, and the main transaction will be free from any DML uncommitted work. So this is how the overall architecture or the infrastructure works when it comes to appointment booking and rebooking from an external application or from a non-SFS enabled org. Let's see a live demo of how this can happen. So while I record it on double screen, I think this UI will not be visible. So what I do here is I pick up a service appointment. So let me go back to my field service application. So what I've got here is work orders. One work order has got a single service appointment. The other one has got more than one with a complex chain. So if I go to service appointments here, I'll be able to I'll be able to I'll be able to see these service appointments. So I just put them as a Gantt label on what is a single service appointment, what's a complex one, and you can see in the complex work this job 86 kind of connects to 87 by start to finish dependency. So if I pick up the service appointment, which is 19 here, and I try to do get slots from external world, I'll copy this particular way of calling the REST API that's exposed on my FSL org. I'll paste it here and ask for slots. I get a success and I got a lot of responses here, right? So I got these slots, their grades, they start and finish. If I search for a word slot and colon, these are the results that I got. So I got almost 40 slots here, okay? Now, if I pick up one of these slots, maybe say for 1st of October, I'll go back here and I say I'm gonna start at 10 o'clock until 12. And you will see that the operation type when I asked for slot was like get appointment versus when I'm booking it, it's a book appointment. And I'm also saying the service appointment ID, the policy ID that I want to use, and all that, and the operating hours that I want to consume for this processing. So now I choose a slot and I go back. Let me duplicate this one to make it easier. And now I'm gonna do, and also let me open the service appointment in parallel so that we see the data set here. Okay. Okay, so I should have cleared this before I perform my operation. So I'll just delete them now. Click on save. So now my service appointments don't have an arrival window. I will also clear the other one. I'll do it when I re-record it. I save it. So now none of my service appointments have any arrival windows, as you see here, okay? All right. I'll also make it a bit smaller so that it's visible on the screen. All right. So refresh, nothing available. Now if I go back and do get appointment for this again, it showed me responses, and if I count them, they are again 40. I pick up one of the service appointments available slot and I ask for, let me see, nothing is stamped on the arrival windows on the single essay, which is fine. Now I go back and try to book this by calling schedule. I get a success, which means it should have been scheduled successfully on the Gantt. I click on here. I see the arrival windows are stamped and the status is changed to scheduled. And we also have a scheduled start date on the Gantt for this. It should be 10 a.m. because the Gantt is pretty much empty. Okay. Now, in the same way, if we do the similar stuff and pick up another slot, so instead of maybe uh, 10 to 11, you could pick up some other slot and do it. Now let's look at the complex work here, which is with 86. Okay. So I go back and ask for slots of 86. Now here you will note that if I need to tell how these jobs are connected, because I can also have jobs that are connected by certain ID. I can have jobs that are connected by parent work order ID, or I can have jobs that are connected with dependencies, right? So if we know that we are only processing jobs that depended upon parent, we put it as parent. If we know its dependencies based upon time dependencies, we can say dependency. And if we know that there are not complex jobs, we can put it as none, or we can exclude this tag from the request. But for now, since they are from the same work order, I'll put it as parent. Now I'll copy this URL again, go to my REST API and ask for slots, execute. And in this case, I again get about 40 slots because it's similar work order, kind of similar stuff. And then similarly, I can pick up one of the slots and ask for scheduling this job, which is this one. So I again come back here. I ask for rebooking. I ask for scheduling. Click on execute. Now the enhanced scheduling and optimization engine was able to schedule these jobs together, considering the dependencies, and they have start to finish. So 30 minutes is the job. You start at 10 o'clock, finish at 10:30, and the next job starts at 10:30. And also they should be available on the Gantt if we scroll there. Yeah, the single job and the two jobs. Now, since these jobs are already scheduled, now if the interesting part is about rebooking, right? So if you go back here for the first job and ask for slots again, right? So initially, if we did not do anything related to stuff, maybe we wouldn't have seen any slots. But in this case, if we go back to this environment and ask for slots again for the single service appointment, now even if that service appointment is scheduled and has got an arrival window stamped on it, which is single SA, this one, we should be able to get slots, which is same as 40, right? 40 slots. And if I go ahead and I want to reschedule this to some other slot picked up by the customer, I could go back here, and instead of say 1, I can pick up the 2nd of October, and I can, and let's see if 2nd of October was available. So 39, 39. Yeah, 2nd of October was also available here. If I see, this is the slot that I see. So I'll go back here and I'll try to execute it. It means I'm trying to reschedule it to a different slot. So essentially what I believe is, if I refresh it now, my arrival windows, instead of uh, 1st of October, will convert into 2nd of October, the one I chose, and also the job should move to 2nd of October, which did happen. So this is an amazing piece that we did for one of our customers to help them, do the booking and rebooking from an external world and still get desired results. So maybe we can polish this demo a bit more and do the recording. But for now, I think this looks really good. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day ahead. Bye for now. Ciao.